The message flashed across my screen like a slap in the face. "You'll never make it. You're not cut out for this." It was from Mrs. Larson, the teacher who told me I'd never graduate, the one who said I'd be stuck in that small town forever. But what she didn't know was that those words were the spark I needed. Now, I'm the one handing out scholarships, giving the next generation a chance to prove everyone wrong. And as for the people who told me I'd fail, they'll be the first to see how wrong they were when I stand in front of them, successful, unstoppable, and finally truly seen. The phone buzzes in my hand, the screen lighting up with a familiar name. It's my high school guidance counselor, Mrs. Larson. She's calling me again. I can feel the tension rise in my chest, a wave of frustration mixing with a hint of disbelief. It's been years since I've heard from her. I don't even need to look at the caller ID to know what this is about. Her voice is etched in my memory, a reminder of every time I was told I wouldn't make it. I let it ring, staring at the screen for a few more seconds before swiping it away. Ignoring it feels like the only power I have left. The clock on my desk ticks steadily as I glance at the pile of paperwork on the corner of my desk. Graduation, scholarships, letters from donors who don't even know my name. The emails keep coming, asking for financial reports, signatures, confirmations. I've built an empire out of what others thought was nothing, yet somehow, every part of me is still tethered to a past I can't shake. My office is quiet, the city skyline visible through the large windows. Chicago's skyline gleams in the afternoon sun, a far cry from the dusty classroom in that tiny high school where they told me I'd never amount to anything. I adjust my glasses, ignoring the way my fingers tremble. A memory from those years surfaces. Mrs. Larson standing at the front of the classroom, her voice laced with pity as she told me that college wasn't for someone like me. My grades, though decent, would never be enough for a full scholarship. She told me I'd have to settle for a local community college, or maybe even work full-time. There were whispers, parents, teachers, friends, telling me I wasn't cut out for it. Stay realistic, Rose. Don't dream too big. I remember the sting of those words as they hit me, as they sunk deep into my skin. Back then, it felt like the world was telling me I was too small, too insignificant to make it out of that suffocating town. But now, after everything I've accomplished, I still hear that voice echoing in my head, pulling me back to that small desk with chipped paint, with a pencil in my hand and nowhere to go. The buzz of my phone interrupts my thoughts. Mrs. Larson. Again. I look at the time, almost 5 years to the day since I graduated. Her words flash in my mind. "You won't graduate, Rose, and you definitely won't make it to college." For a moment, I feel a strange pull to answer, to confront the ghosts of my past. I've come so far. I should be proud of what I've accomplished. But instead, I'm filled with a bitter laugh that escapes before I can stop it. I push myself up from the chair, glancing over the documents on my desk. Letters, reports, all reminders of how much I've achieved. Yet the feeling of being overlooked still gnaws at me. It wasn't just Mrs. Larson. It was every person who told me I wasn't enough, that I should settle for less. I stand up and walk across the room, stopping in front of the window. Below me, the city stretches out, vast, sprawling, endless. I take a deep breath, exhaling slowly as I think about how far I've come. Back home in that small town, I would have been lucky to leave. But now, I've built a life for myself. I've become someone who gets to make the decisions, someone who gives back. My reflection in the glass shows me a woman who's no longer defined by anyone else's expectations. I'm Rose, successful, driven, and most importantly, unapologetically here. I reach down and pick up the letter resting on the corner of my desk. It's a scholarship application, one I plan to announce at the upcoming gala. My hand lingers over it as I think about the students who will benefit from it. I'm giving them a chance to succeed, a chance I was never offered. The phone buzzes again, and this time, I answer it. Rose, Mrs. Larson's voice crackles through the speaker. I just wanted to check in. We were thinking of you at the school reunion next month, and I wanted to say how proud we are of everything you've accomplished. I swallow the sharp words rising in my throat. This is it, the moment I've waited for, the moment I've earned. Thank you, Mrs. Larson, I say, my voice steady, controlled. But I don't think I'll be attending the reunion. I've been a little busy. I've started a scholarship fund for kids who were told they'd never make it. Silence stretches on the other end of the line. I smile to myself. I know what she's thinking. I hang up the phone, my fingers still gripping the device, the hum of silence filling the space around me. The words I just spoke feel foreign, almost surreal. A scholarship fund. It's a small thing in the grand scheme of my life, but it's a victory, a final nail in the coffin of every doubt ever cast my way. As I set the phone down on my desk, I glance over at the framed picture of me on graduation day. The grin on my face is one I barely recognize anymore, a younger version of myself who didn't know what she was capable of. Back then, I was just trying to survive. Now, I'm thriving. A wave of nostalgia sweeps over me as I remember that day, the one where Mrs. Larson and the others told me I wouldn't walk across that stage. They made it sound like I was setting myself up for failure, as if my dreams were so unreachable that I would look foolish for even trying. The town, the school, the community, they all believed in the narrative they'd created for me. It was a story that painted me as just another small-town girl who would never break free, someone who was destined for mediocrity. But no one told me that I was more than what they saw. I walk over to my window again, my eyes scanning the skyline. I can still feel the weight of those years in that tiny classroom, in the hallways where whispers followed me like shadows. They told me I wasn't cut out for this, that the big city wasn't for someone like me. But here I am, and now all those same people are going to be shocked when they realize how wrong they were. The doorbell rings. I freeze for a moment, then shake myself out of my thoughts and head for the door. Standing on the other side is Olivia, my old friend from high school. Her wide smile is instantly familiar, but the way her eyes dart to the ground as she steps inside gives me pause. We haven't spoken much since graduation. After all, she was part of that crowd who stayed behind, content with the life they knew. Olivia, unlike me, never dared to dream bigger than what was expected of her. "Hey, Rose," she says, her voice a little too cheerful, like it's trying to mask the awkwardness. "I just thought I'd drop by, see how you're doing." I offer a tight smile. "I'm good. Busy. How about you?" Olivia hesitates, then shifts the conversation awkwardly to the reunion. "I heard you're not going. I, uh, I just wanted to say that we all think it's a shame. You know, it's been a while since we saw you." I arch an eyebrow, my thoughts immediately jumping to the years I spent feeling invisible. "Really?" I reply, my voice laced with a sharp edge. "Because I remember when you and everyone else told me I wouldn't amount to much. You didn't exactly have high hopes for me back then." She fidgets, her eyes darting away as though she's trying to avoid the reality of what I've just said. "Well, I didn't mean it like that," she stammers, clearly uncomfortable. "But you know, some of us were just worried. You were always so different. We didn't understand why you were pushing so hard." "Pushing hard?" I repeat the words, tasting them on my tongue. The irony stings. I was pushing to survive, Olivia, to not be left behind while everyone else lived out their scripted lives. There's a pause. Olivia shifts her weight, and I can see her attempting to find the right words. "We all just wanted you to be happy. I guess we didn't know what to make of it. The way you left, the way you didn't keep in touch." "I didn't keep in touch," I echo, my tone rising with the bitterness I've carried for so long. "Because you didn't try to understand, Olivia. I didn't leave for the same reasons you think. I left because I had to, because staying there would have crushed me." I needed to go somewhere where I could breathe, where I didn't have to be the girl they thought I should be. She flinches, and for a moment, I see the tiniest flicker of regret in her eyes. She steps closer, her voice quieter now. I'm sorry, Rose. I didn't know. But the words don't carry the same weight they once might have. They feel hollow, like they've been said too many times without meaning. I've already forgiven them all, not for their sake, but for mine. I look at Olivia one last time before walking away, leaving her standing in the doorway. I know you didn't understand, but it's too late for apologies. The truth is, I've been doing just fine without you all. And now, I'm doing something with the success you all said I'd never have. I don't wait for her to respond. I turn back to my desk, to the letters, the scholarships, the future I've made for myself. I can't let these people drag me back to who I was. I'm done being the person they tried to erase. The gala is just around the corner, and I've spent weeks preparing for it. The city's most successful entrepreneurs, philanthropists, and scholarship donors will be there, people who, like me, once fought to be seen. And now, I'm giving back. I'm the one handing out the opportunities I never had, shaping futures, and showing the world that I am far more than the label they tried to pin on me. But tonight, as I sit in front of the mirror in my apartment, adjusting the gold necklace around my neck, a feeling of unease settles in my stomach. It's not the event I'm nervous about. It's the faces I'll encounter. The same people who told me I wouldn't make it. Those who once dismissed me as nothing more than a statistic. Mrs. Larson, Olivia, and all the others who believed my dreams were impossible. I'm dressed to the nines in a sleek black dress, the one that always made me feel powerful when I wore it. Yet tonight, it feels like armor, a way to protect myself from the memories that still cling to my mind. The whispers, the sneers, the assumptions that I wasn't enough. I take a deep breath, steadying myself as I adjust the straps of my heels. I'm no longer the quiet, overlooked girl who slunk away to Chicago. I am Rose, and tonight I will make them see. The evening sky darkens as I arrive at the gala, the sound of traffic and chatter filling the air. The venue is a sprawling hall filled with glittering chandeliers and soft candlelight. The air smells of roses, the kind that only rich people would spend hundreds on. I try not to roll my eyes at the extravagance of it all, but the grandeur does little to overshadow the creeping anxiety in my chest. As soon as I step into the hall, I spot a few familiar faces. Mrs. Larson is standing with a group of teachers from the school, her hands delicately holding a glass of wine. She looks exactly the same, her posture impeccable, her hair carefully styled into soft waves. When she sees me, her eyes widen in surprise. A hint of recognition flickers before she quickly masks it with a smile. "Rose," she exclaims, walking toward me, her tone more forced than I remember. "I didn't expect to see you here. It's been so long. How wonderful to see you so successful." Her words feel rehearsed, hollow, but I bite my tongue and offer a tight smile. "It's been a while, Mrs. Larson," I reply coolly. "It's been a busy few years." She glances at me, her gaze lingering on the sleek lines of my dress and the way I carry myself. I can see the judgment forming behind her eyes, familiar, almost instinctual. Her eyes drop to my heels, the shiny diamonds of my earrings, and then quickly look away. She clears her throat, trying to regain composure. "So, Rose, I hear you've been quite busy with, what was it? The scholarship fund?" Her voice rises slightly, as if she's just pieced it together. "That's very impressive. You're really doing something with your life." There it is again, the veiled surprise. She doesn't know how to react, doesn't know how to handle the reality of what I've become. The girl she dismissed, the one who wouldn't even finish high school, is now standing before her, offering opportunities to students who remind me of the very person I used to be. I nod, my smile never wavering. Yes, I'm providing scholarships for students from backgrounds just like mine, the ones who get overlooked, underestimated, people who have big dreams but don't have the resources or the support to see them through. The silence that follows is thick. Mrs. Larson fidgets with her glass, clearly uncomfortable. She doesn't know what to say, doesn't know how to address the truth that's standing right in front of her. I look around the room, feeling the weight of the eyes on me. The people who thought I wouldn't make it, those who never thought someone like me could achieve anything significant, are now watching me as I stand tall, poised. It's as if the world itself is reminding them of their failure to see me for who I really was. But the truth is, I don't need their validation anymore. And the beauty of it all is that they know it. I'm no longer the girl they could ignore, the girl they could put in a box. I'm not the quiet student fading into the background. I've become something they didn't expect, something they didn't understand, but something they now have to reckon with. I turn away from Mrs. Larson, the polite smile still on my face, and walk toward the stage. I'm here to do something much bigger than seek their approval. I'm here to make sure no one ever feels invisible again. I glance around the room, the shimmer of gold and crystal blinding my senses. The voices rise in soft laughter and clinking glasses, but all I hear is the pounding of my heart in my chest, each beat reminding me of the uphill battle I fought to be here. As I make my way toward the stage, I spot more familiar faces. Some of them I haven't seen in years, others I know too well. Olivia is standing near the refreshment table, her laugh too loud, her posture too stiff. She's still the same girl who couldn't see past her own small-town existence, the one who thought I was crazy for wanting more than what we had. Her eyes catch mine across the room, and for a moment we simply stare at each other. I can see the hesitation in her gaze, the same way Mrs. Larson had looked at me moments before. She wasn't expecting me to be this person, the one who is now the one they all must reckon with. She stumbles forward, her usual confidence faltering. She approaches, her hand trembling slightly as she extends it toward me. "Rose," she says, her voice softer than usual, almost apologetic. "I didn't realize how much you'd accomplished. You really did it, huh?" I take her hand, the gesture formal, my own palm steady. "I did," I reply simply, the words more powerful than I thought they would feel. The woman I am now, standing tall and unwavering, is the result of every moment I had to prove myself. Each "you can't" and "you won't" that was thrown my way. "That's great," Olivia continues almost sheepishly. "Really, it's impressive. I always thought you'd end up, well, somewhere in between. You know, local. Maybe a teacher or a nurse like your mom. But this," she gestures vaguely around the room, as if she's trying to touch the entirety of my success in one sweep. "This is incredible. I didn't think it was possible for someone like you." Her words hit harder than I want to admit, not because I don't understand her perspective, but because I can still feel the weight of those assumptions hanging over me, even now. They've always seen me as the girl who wasn't enough, the one who didn't belong in their world. The difference now is that I'm no longer trying to fit into their idea of what I should be. I am here on my own terms, making my own space. "Well," I begin, my voice steady, "I guess I surprised everyone, including myself." She nods, as though processing the reality of what I've become. "I guess I always thought you were too quiet for all of this," she admits, her eyes flickering nervously. "You were never the one who stood out, but I guess I didn't understand. You were always different. You didn't need to be loud to make a difference." Her words feel like a backhanded compliment, but they still manage to sting. I smile politely, then offer, "Sometimes being quiet doesn't mean being invisible. It just means you're listening. And when the time comes, You speak with purpose. The words taste foreign coming from my mouth, yet they feel true. I was never invisible. I was just waiting for the right moment to be seen. And now that moment has arrived. As the night goes on, I find myself surrounded by strangers, new acquaintances, and other scholarship recipients. It feels odd in a way to be treated with this level of respect, but it also feels like validation in a way I never expected. The donors and philanthropists, the ones who funded this event, are all fascinated by my story. They see me not as the girl from a small town who barely scraped through school, but as someone who has now reached the heights they never thought possible. As I step onto the stage to announce the scholarship winners, a sense of calm settles over me. The microphone feels weightless in my hand, my heart steady and sure. The spotlight shines down on me, but it's no longer a symbol of my fear. It's a symbol of everything I've worked for. It's a moment of power, and it's mine. The applause from the audience is a sound I've never truly known before, and it fills me with a strange satisfaction. They weren't there when I needed them most, but they are here now. And that's enough. They are finally seeing me, truly seeing me, for everything I've accomplished. As the event begins to wind down and I prepare to leave, I find myself standing in the hallway, alone for a moment. The sounds of chatter and laughter fade behind me as I take a deep breath. I think about the journey it took to get here, about the years of doubt, the quiet determination, and the choices I made that led to this moment. But most of all, I think about those who doubted me, the ones who never thought I'd graduate, let alone be the one giving scholarships to the next generation of dreamers. I close my eyes for a moment, feeling a sense of peace settle over me. I am more than enough, and now they all know it. As the weeks go by, the reality of what I've accomplished begins to sink in. The scholarship fund has been a success, more than I ever imagined. The applications keep coming in, and each one tells a story of someone just like me. They're the quiet ones, the overlooked, the ones everyone says won't make it, but they have dreams, big dreams. And now, because of what I've done, they have a chance to chase them. That thought fills me with a sense of purpose I've never known before. Yet, even as I stand at the forefront of this new chapter, there's still a part of me that can't let go of the past. A part of me that still cringes when I think about the people who doubted me, especially my parents. I've avoided calling them, even though I know I can't avoid them forever. They've never fully understood why I left, why I chose a path that was so different from what they expected. To them, I was always the one who didn't fit in, the one who couldn't be easily categorized. They wanted me to follow the conventional path, go to a local school, get a steady job, maybe settle down and start a family. But that was never me. I never fit into their picture of who I should be. The phone rings one evening, cutting through my thoughts. I glance at the caller ID. It's my mother. A pang of guilt shoots through me, but I don't answer. I let it go to voicemail. The sound of her voice, once so comforting, now feels foreign. For years, I tried to be the daughter they wanted me to be, the one who followed the rules, who kept quiet, who never made waves. But I learned painfully that sometimes following their expectations meant erasing the person I truly was, the person I've worked so hard to become. 2 days later, I decide it's time. I've been avoiding them for too long. If I'm going to truly move forward, I have to face them, face the past that's still trying to haunt me. I get in my car and drive to their house, the house I once called home. The familiar driveway stretches out before me, but it feels different now. It's no longer a place of comfort. It's a place where I learned the hard truth about what it means to be seen or unseen. When I step inside, The smell of home-cooked meals hits me immediately. The kitchen is just as I remember it, the old wooden table at the center where we used to sit, but now it feels distant. My mother's eyes scan me as I walk in, her face lighting up with a warm, practiced smile that I can see through. She hugs me quickly, too quickly, like she's unsure of how to greet the person standing before her. "I'm so glad you could make it," she says, her voice tense. "Your father's been wanting to see you." I nod, but my mind is already elsewhere. My gaze shifts to my father, who's sitting at the kitchen table, a coffee cup in front of him. He doesn't stand up when I enter. He just watches me, the same look in his eyes that I've seen 100 times before, a mixture of expectation and frustration. He doesn't say anything at first, but his gaze is sharp, measuring, like he's trying to figure me out all over again. "So, what brings you back?" he asks, his voice clipped, as if this is all just a formality. "Did you come to help with the finances? You know your mother's been having trouble keeping up with everything." I feel a wave of anger rise in me, but I swallow it down. This is what I expected. The same old script, the same demands. They've never seen me for who I truly am. They still think of me as the girl who couldn't finish high school, the girl who would never amount to anything. They don't see the person I've become, the one who made it on her own, who fought through every obstacle to build something meaningful. They don't see the woman standing before them now. "I didn't come for that," I say calmly, trying to keep my voice steady. "I came because I wanted to talk to you both about something." My father raises an eyebrow. "And what's that?" "I'm giving back," I say. "I started a scholarship fund. I'm providing opportunities for students who need it the most, just like I did. I didn't have anyone to believe in me, but now I'm giving others that chance." The words hang in the air, and for a moment there's silence. Neither of them responds right away. It's as if they don't know how to process what I'm saying, as if they're still waiting for me to be the daughter they always imagined, the daughter who would follow the safe, predictable path. But I am not that person. I never was. "I'm proud of what I've built," I continue, my voice firm, "and I'm proud of who I've become. But I won't keep pretending to be the person you want me to be. I'm done being your second choice. I'm done being invisible." My father doesn't speak, but I can see the shift in him, the way his jaw tightens, the way his eyes narrow, as if he's finally starting to understand. But it's too late. He had his chance to see me, to really see me, when I was growing up. He had the chance to celebrate my victories, to take pride in my accomplishments. And he didn't. "I'm not here to fix what's broken," I say quietly. "I'm here to make sure the next generation doesn't go through the same thing I did. I won't erase who I am just to fit into your version of a daughter. But if you want to help, you can." Their expressions remain unreadable, and for a long moment, no one says anything. But the silence isn't uncomfortable. It's a silence that marks the end of something, of pretending, of needing to be seen by people who never truly understood. When I leave their house later that evening, I don't feel the same weight on my shoulders that I once did. The guilt, the need for their approval, it's all gone. I am who I am, and nothing will change that. I've walked away from the past, and now I'm walking toward a future where I define my own worth. And as the night sky blankets the city, I realize that I've already won, not because of the scholarship fund or the accolades or the things they'll never understand, but because I finally know who I am, and I am enough. As the days pass, I find myself at peace with the decision I made that night. There's no guilt anymore, no longing for approval from people who have never truly seen me. The scholarship fund continues to thrive, and every new applicant who sends in their essay reminds me of the power of giving others the chance to dream. The faces of the students I've helped, those who, like me, were told they wouldn't make it, are etched in my mind. Their gratitude, their hope, it makes every sacrifice worth it. But as time goes on, I realize something even more profound. The real change didn't come from the scholarship fund, the donations, or the people I helped. It came from the simple act of taking control of my own narrative. For so long, I let others define who I was. I let them tell me I wasn't enough, that I should shrink, that I should be content with what they thought was my place. But I don't do that anymore. I stand tall in my own truth, fully aware that I am enough. And that's the most powerful gift I could have ever given myself. I'm sitting at my desk one afternoon, reviewing the final list of scholarship recipients for the year. The names on the screen are so familiar, students from backgrounds just like mine, full of dreams and potential. I feel a sense of pride that I've been able to help these young minds pursue their education. It's an accomplishment that fills me with more satisfaction than anything else I could have imagined for myself. There are no more doubts, no more questions about my worth. I built this. A knock on the door pulls me from my thoughts. It's Olivia again. This time, she doesn't seem so unsure. She's dressed in her usual bright colors, her hair falling perfectly around her face, but there's something different in her eyes. She seems more grounded, less concerned with what others think of her. She's changed too. Rose, she starts, taking a seat across from me. I just wanted to say that I'm proud of you. You've done something incredible, something that, well, I didn't understand at first, but now I see it. You didn't just make it, you created something. You gave people like us a chance we never had. I don't know what to say to her. For years, I was the one who felt invisible, but now Olivia's words don't sting. They feel like a recognition of my journey, a recognition I didn't expect, but now I welcome it. Thanks, Olivia, I say softly, the weight of her acknowledgement settling in. It wasn't easy, but it was worth it. She nods, her smile genuine. I get it now, I really do. I guess I always thought I had to follow a certain path. But you showed me that it's okay to forge your own way, even if it means breaking free from everything you've ever known. And in that moment, I realized that the biggest transformation wasn't just in me. It was in the people around me. My success, my journey, it's had a ripple effect. It's touched the lives of others who now believe they can do more than just survive. They can thrive. They can change the story they've been told. As Olivia leaves, I sit back in my chair and glance at the pictures on my desk. Photos of my high school graduation, of the day I received my first job offer, of my first scholarship recipient. These moments are markers of the life I've built, the life that is entirely mine. No one can take that away from me anymore. Not the people who doubted me, not the ones who wanted me to be something I wasn't. I look at the diploma hanging on the wall, a constant reminder of my hard-won success. It's not just a piece of paper. It's proof that I made it. It's proof that no matter where you start, you can create your own path. And for the first time in my life, I truly believe that. The phone rings again. It's my mother. I hesitate for a moment before answering. She doesn't say much at first, and I can hear the tremor in her voice. Rose, she starts, I just wanted to say I'm proud of you. You've done something so incredible, something that I didn't understand before. I think I see you now. The words are almost more than I can process. For years, I tried to make them see me, tried to make them proud. But now, it doesn't matter whether they truly understand or not. What matters is that I've found my own worth, and I no longer need their approval to know I'm enough. I appreciate that, Mom, I reply, my voice steady. But I've already made peace with everything, and I'm happy. I've found my place. And as I hang up the phone, I realize that I'm not just helping others achieve their dreams anymore. I've achieved my own. I built this life. I built this future. I am no longer the girl they thought would fail. I am the woman who refused to be anyone but herself. As I stand up from my desk and walk over to the window, I look out at the city below. The skyline stretches as far as the eye can see, just like the future I've created for myself. I no longer see obstacles. I see opportunities. And I know, without a doubt, that this is just the beginning.